This film tells the story of a young woman named Catherine. She is married to a man named Richard, but she is often left alone by her husband because of work. Catherine used to have a gardener who helped her at home, but for some reason he left there, and after that he could no longer be contacted. In the end, Catherine looked for a new gardener from the same company to help her take care of the garden at her house. The next morning, the gardener Catherine asked for came. His name was Duke, a handsome and young man. Catherine took Duke around and explained the job to Duke. But when Duke wanted to go home, an incident occurred. Catherine's door was suddenly locked from the inside. Duke, who saw this, immediately helped her with simple tools. Duke looked really good at doing this, but Catherine didn't suspect him at all. Richard is very rarely at home. He spends more time at his workplace, as a film producer, while Catherine is an actor, but both work in different places. Even though at home, Richard was still busy with work, so they never had time to be intimate even for a moment. The next day, the Duke came back to work. The first day of work, the Duke did well and was very diligent, while Catherine was still thinking about when she could be intimate. Catherine then invited the Duke to take a break while enjoying a drink. They chatted at length, and here the Duke just found out that Catherine worked as an actor. No wonder she was very beautiful and pleasing to the eye. The Duke himself turned out to be an all-rounder. Besides taking care of plants, he could also fix some broken things. Sometimes Catherine failed to focus on the Duke's handsomeness. She stole glances at the Duke while he was working. Since then, Catherine and the Duke have become closer. Even Catherine has also begun to open up and confide in the Duke. But since then, Catherine has felt that someone is always watching her from the house next door. Catherine became lonelier day by day. When she asked Richard to make out, Richard always refused. Even Catherine also began to monitor the Duke and imagine what was not with him. Until one morning, she was surprised to hear loud music from the house next door. Even though she had known the house had been empty and unoccupied for a long time. When checked, it turned out that the house was occupied. His name was Oates. He said he had just bought the house and had just moved in. They got to know each other, and he claimed to work as a film producer. That day, the Duke had no work there. Catherine then invited them all in, and the Duke helped Catherine cook. After that they drank and danced. Catherine, who had drunk too much, finally got carried away and danced with the Duke, while the Duke asked Oates to leave. Who exactly are they both? They seem to have known each other. It turned out to be true. The Duke and Oates apparently already knew each other. They used to be people who were unclear and had no place to live. Plus they were former criminals. They were really desperate because everyone didn't want to accept them. Until one day when at the gas station, Duke saw Catherine. He was very interested in her. Even Duke and Oates also threatened someone to take him to follow Catherine's car to her house. Duke and Oates then checked around Catherine's house and found the house next to Catherine's house empty. They then broke into the house and lived there. So Catherine's suspicions were right. She had someone watching her all the time, and that was Duke and Oates. While the gardener who worked at Catherine's house before apparently was arrested by the police. And this turned out to be Duke's plan. He deliberately slandered the gardener so that Duke could become a worker at Catherine's house. Back to the scene of Duke and Catherine. Duke took Catherine to the room and immediately made out for the first time. But here Oates felt something was wrong. Duke could always be close to Catherine, while he got nothing. A feud occurred between them. Oates also wanted to feel what the Duke felt. Until finally the Duke brought Catherine to the house. Now it was Oates' turn to make out. But it turned out that Oates couldn't do it because he felt sorry for her. In the end he let Catherine go from there. The Duke, who saw it, then hit Catherine. Oates, who saw it, defended Catherine. And they immediately fought there. Long story short, Richard came home and felt something was wrong in his house. He immediately helped Catherine and fought with the Duke, while Catherine immediately went into the house and took a weapon. In the end the Duke and Oates died at the hands of Catherine. In the end, Catherine and Richard ended this all happily. Some time later, Catherine returned to her profession as an actor, and maybe someday she will pour her life story into a film. Until finally, the film was finished.